I would like to begin my remarks this morning with a review of the audit that I called for on the TraPac terminal environmental mitigation measures. Early last fall, after I disclosed the shortcomings at the China shipping terminal with respect to its contract, mitigation measures, and environmental strategy, I also publicly directed the Harbor Department staff to do a complete and thorough audit on the other terminal that has mitigation measures written into its contract that operated at TraPac terminals. The TraPac audit has revealed that we are substantially below the emissions inventory levels that were contemplated and promised to the community as a result of the study in the 2007 Environmental Impact Report. What I share with you at this time are the KPIs, the metrics, the numbers of emissions inventories versus what was studied and promised. Starting off with volatile organic compounds. And as you can tell by the graphical depiction, we are well below what was committed. The next is connoted as carbon monoxide. Again, similar display. NOx, similar disposition. SOx, committed levels versus actuals. Particulate matter of 10 micrometers or less. Again, substantial reduction compared to what was studied and committed. And carbon dioxide, which is well below that committed. In looking at the audit for TraPac, there are 52 mitigation measures in this particular contract. I report to you today that we're in good standing on 49 of the 52 mitigation measures, or 94%. 3 mitigation measures specifically required deeper research. Traffic mitigation measure at the corner of Anaheim and Alameda required the addition of a right-hand turn lane, which has been constructed, and the widening by 8 feet of that intersection should predictable traffic levels grow to a specific level. The other 2 mitigation measures that required the deeper research were of air quality issue. Number 1 is alternative marine power, and that is the slide you see before you now. In 2013, the requirement was 25% of all vessel docking hours at the TraPac terminal. In that year, due to construction on the modernization of the facility, only 10% of the hours were achieved. In year 2014, the requirement was 50% of all vessel hours being docked, and TraPac exceeded that, amping at 66% of all docking hours. In 2015, TraPac achieved only 53% of vessel docking hours compared to the contract requirement of 80%. Causals were twofold. 1, ongoing construction for the modernization of the terminal, dislocated AMP product. Liner shipping companies calling the terminal had chartered vessels to continue to move cargo from Asia while we had more than 29 ships at anchor outside our breakwater, and those chartered ships were not AMP capable. The TraPac leadership believes this was a one-time occurrence and will move forward in year 2016 to fully comply with the AMP requirements as stated in their contract. The second mitigation measure that we studied was on cargo handling equipment inside the fence at TraPac. For year 2015, 105 of 135 pieces of equipment were Tier 4 or better. In response to this, TraPac has provided purchase orders from Cummins Engine in Indiana and others that specify the delivery of Tier 4 equipment to make up the balance and achieve 100% compliance during calendar year 2016. I believe we have a direct line of sight on improving these 2 mitigation measures in the very near future. I will also state that the slide in front of you is the peer-reviewed and reported emissions report card for the San Pedro Bay Complex and specifically the Port of Los Angeles. We have met or nearly met all of the measurements in the Clean Air Action Plan that were designated for delivery by year 2023. And beginning in September, with our first public meeting at Banning's Landing, we brought the community, stakeholders, and experts together to develop our third iteration of the Clean Air Action Plan that will be delivered to you in June of this year. We are looked at as leaders in environmental stewardship. There is no port complex in the world that has brought together the expertise, the finances, and the work to deliver the emissions reductions that the San Pedro Bay complex has delivered. Our work around environmental strategy is of core importance among our strategic plan elements. The result of this audit with respect to TraPac signifies a number of learning areas for us. One is the need for transparency, and under my administration, we have demonstrated that, and we'll continue to do so and raise the bar. Number two, we will begin posting accomplishments and achievements with respect to mitigation measures on our website by the beginning of the second quarter. We have published our statistics on a regular basis, but to look at the finer areas of what is required contractually and morally to our community is of paramount importance to me and our staff. The third piece that I have taken away from this is the continued need for expert advice and guidance in our areas of environmental strategy, to surround ourselves with experts who can give us that guidance and advice, and be open to ideas as we push the envelope forward on moving our stewardship to a higher level. In closing on TraPac, I do not profess to have all the answers, which is why I have advocated to bring folks around who have a lot of expertise in this and other areas. I think the work that we have done thus far as a resultant effect of the audit heightens the awareness, increases the communication, and will allow us to raise the bar again on these issues that have not yet been completed. In the end, the emissions inventories levels are very encouraging, but I attest to you there is much more work to be done.